This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest. Start your risk-free trial at greenlight.com/NPR.
Just out of curiosity, what is your favorite thing to be?
I would say rational, kind, hopefully, and political.
Oh, I like those. Those are good descriptors.
I would say on time because it so rarely happens, honestly.
That is amazing. I could never say that about myself. So I really admire that in others. Well, let me set the scene for what we're going to unpack here. A micro-influencer who goes by the username Slim Kim found her 15 seconds of fame when she uploaded a video to TikTok about her favorite thing to be.
My favorite thing to be is skinny. It is my favorite thing to be, and it is my favorite fear to not be. And this is just for me personally. This is all personal to me. But I just wanted to say it out loud because honestly, it's all I think about.
Shakespeare couldn't have written a better line himself. This set off a wave of classic internet discourse around whether these comments were an expression of body positivity or just another face to fat shaming. Critics of Slim Kim have called the comment gauche and claimed that it uplifts body fascism, but defenders are calling it a matter of personal taste and asking what's so wrong with loving being skinny. Slim Kim is only one of a growing number of influencers to make these kinds of comments. And with semaglutides like Ozempic and Wegovy now being prescribed for weight loss, I feel like we've all noticed a shift in how we talk about each other's bodies. It's left me wondering, when it comes to fat phobia, why are so many people getting comfortable with saying the quiet part out loud?
Think about the amount of energy and time and money and emotional labor and just all of it that we sink into the pretty sad, futile project of making our bodies in the long term only slightly smaller typically, or imagine what we could do with all of that time and energy and maybe collectivity and solidarity if we banded together in ways that were not informed by beauty ideals, but moral and political ideals.
Well, we're going to find out with Emma Spector. She's an author and culture writer for Vogue magazine, and Kate Mann. She's an author and philosophy professor at Cornell University. Emma, Kate, welcome to It's Been a Minute.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hello, hello. I'm Brittany Luce, and you're listening to It's Been a Minute from NPR, a show about what's going on in culture and why it doesn't happen by accident. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Before we get into the show, I want to look back. We've been through a lot together in 2025. Through this show, we've laughed together and learned so much. And meanwhile, NPR and local stations have been going through it. Federal funding for public media was eliminated, and we've seen unprecedented attacks on the free press. Despite all that, NPR is still here for you. And you can help keep this public service you rely on going strong into the new year. If you're already an NPR Plus supporter, thank you so much. We see you, and we are so grateful. If not, please join the community of public radio supporters right now before the end of the year at plus.npr.org. Signing up unlocks a bunch of perks like bonus episodes and more from across NPR's podcasts. Plus, you get to feel good about supporting public media while you listen. Sign up today at plus.npr.org. And I also left you a link in the description of this episode. Thank you so much. So I want to ask both of you, Emma, Kate, what is so wrong with loving being skinny? Or in other words, what do you hear Slim Kim saying between the lines?
I think when I hear Slim Kim or anyone saying that they love being skinny, the flip side of that is I fear being fat, or I hate what I've constructed around the idea of fatness. And I think it's also sending a pretty clear message to the rest of us that our bodies need to look like that too.
Because it's more than just creating community. It's kind of reinforcing this kind of beauty mandate. Kate, what about you? What do you hear in Slim Kim saying skinny is her favorite thing to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel similarly to Emma. And what I think was particularly obnoxious about it, if you unpack it, is saying, I really enjoy this form of unjust privilege that places me at a major advantage over people who are larger than me when it comes to all sorts of aspects of life that are important. I mean, it's true that it is often easier for thin people when it comes to employment and education and certainly healthcare. But the answer to that is not just revel in one person's thinness, it's to make the world accessible to all and to dismantle systems of oppression.
One thing I found interesting was that even before Kim posted her video, there were other people recently expressing this kind of sentiment about fat bodies. To share some of these quotes with you.
Not worrying that people are going to be judging me when I walk out the door solely based on the size of my body? Pretty great. So I'm going to own that I like being skinnier.
I'm so tired of my old fan base. I don't give a about your identity politics. I voted for Trump and I hate fat people.
These two quotes are a big departure from the body positivity movement that ruled the last decade. What is and what isn't a quote unquote good body has always been a culturally shifting ideal. I think we can all agree on that. But is all this content indicative of that ideal shifting? And if so, what is influencing that shift? Emma, I'd love to hear from you first.
I think this just reminds me that it can take so little quote unquote progress to incite a cultural backlash. What might seem to some like this inflated amount of body positivity, it's a relatively small slice of what the cultural discourse has been. And yet it's engendering this outsized reaction and then set the stage for kind of, well, if you're proud of being fat, I'm proud of being thin. And we're bringing thin back. And I frankly don't think thin ever went anywhere, really.
I am inclined to agree with that. Seems like thin's been pretty omnipresent, at least for my entire life. But I'd love to hear from you on this, Kate. What do you think is influencing this shift we're seeing in body ideals back toward thinness?
I think as well as the backlash that we're seeing to that moment of body positivity, I think there is also this technological aspect of it where the advent of drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy have meant that there is this now means for some people with means of accessing thinness in a new way. And because that takes capital, it takes money, it takes socioeconomic status to access, it is now a marker of elevated socioeconomic status to be very, very thin or to lose weight. And so I think that that is part of why we've seen this trend towards greater thinness than ever, because frankly, it's a sign that you can afford a drug that will shrink you down to size.
Or even if you aren't exploring weight loss drugs, fitness trainers and, 24/7 access to fresh whole foods are also extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Coming up after a quick break.
When it comes to bodily autonomy, your body is yours. And do I wish for you that you would have bigger dreams for it than just being small? Absolutely. But I don't get to tell anyone else how to live inside their body.
This message comes from BetterHelp. The holidays are a time of traditions, like making your grandmother's pudding recipe or watching that movie you've seen 1,000 times. Incorporating therapy into your life can help you take time for yourself during what can be a joyful but sometimes tough time of year. And by caring for yourself, you can show up more for the important moments. This December, start a new tradition by taking care of you. Visit betterhelp.com/NPR for 10% off. This message comes from Jerry. Are you tired of your car insurance rate going up, even with a clean driving record? That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/NPR today.
This message comes from NPR sponsor, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Finding the right leads can feel like an endless search for sellers. What if you could get to the right conversations faster? From finding new leads to strengthening existing relationships, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is your strategic AI-powered partner. It cuts through the noise with real-time data and insights, backed by LinkedIn's network of over 1 billion professionals. Try it free for 60 days at linkedin.com/benaminute. That's linkedin.com/benaminute. Terms and conditions apply. This message is sponsored by DSW, the birthplace of the humble brag. Full of all kinds of shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. And when there are never-ending options for every style, mood, occasion, and budget, there is unlimited freedom to play. And that's something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands, or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW, let them surprise you.
I don't want to lose sight of the fact that Miss Slim Kim, Miss Slim Kim is a Black woman. Honestly, when Slim Kim was getting a lot of critique, I saw Black women that otherwise had shared progressive views and progressive politics defending her or saying that they can understand where she was coming from to a certain degree, which was really fascinating to me. I've been thinking for days about what that's about. And the best that I can come up with is that it would make sense that if you cannot access certain privileges in other ways, like through your race or ethnicity, then perhaps accessing the privileges of thinness might become even more appealing to you. I mean, one of the comments in Slim Kim's video, like on the actual video, said something to the tune of, being thin is as valuable or more valuable than having a master's degree. And people were liking that comment. People agreed with that comment, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the kernel of truth in her video. And I do think compassion is warranted. It is in many ways easier to access goods that are in particularly short supply for marginalized folks if you have that cultural capital of thinness. And there was a particular phrase of hers. She said that her favorite thing to fear is not being skinny. So this isn't just reveling in her current thinness. It's saying she is afraid of what would happen to her or how she'd be viewed or treated if she was larger. There's both a truth to the idea that there are these huge privileges in thinness, and there's a moral case to be made for refusing some of those privileges in as much as you can, rather than saying more of that. I want more of those privileges. Instead, I think the thing to do is stand in solidarity with people who are not thin and say, you don't get to treat us differently because we happen to have different amounts of flesh on our bones.
Taking all of this into account, I've seen people connecting the dots between this body policing and fascism. I kind of see where people are coming from.
Yeah.
There's this idea that the body is meant to be controlled and perfected, which goes hand in hand with eugenics, which is a pillar of fascism. Like, there's a very potent cultural belief that there are ways for you to control your body's appearance, like with GLP-1s like Ozempic, which people take for a variety of reasons, including weight loss. And if you're not, then you deserve whatever happens to you. And all that's on you. What do you all make of this connection?
I mean, I see it very powerfully in the mandate for conformity. I mean, at the heart of fascism is this idea that fundamentally people should look and be one particular way that is culturally mandated. And that whatever it takes to get a population to look like that, however brutal, however violent, however marginalizing, however genocidal, those means must be taken to get a population that conforms to that ideal. So yeah, I think this is a worrisome moment, and it's not wrong to draw connections between the ways body ideals are changing and the fact that our politics are moving rightward in a pretty rapid direction and at a pretty rapid pace.
There's going to be people listening to this conversation that are going to be thinking, what does this have to do with me? This doesn't apply to me. This is just pure vanity. this isn't a topic worthy of importance or discussion, I want to ask each of you, why is it important for anyone and everyone, regardless of what body you have, to pay attention to the direction it seems like we're trending in? What is all of this signaling about what's to come?
Think about the amount of energy and time and money and emotional labor and just all of it that we sink into the pretty sad, futile project of making our bodies in the long term only slightly smaller typically. Or imagine what we could do with all of that time and energy and maybe collectivity and solidarity if we banded together in ways that were not informed by beauty ideals, but moral and political ideals. I think that a lot would be possible that currently feels like it isn't.
Absolutely. And I also just think that, when it comes to bodily autonomy, your body is yours. And do I wish for you that you would have bigger dreams for it than just being small? Absolutely. But I don't get to tell anyone else how to live inside their body. I mean, you could consider yourself to be able-bodied and thin one day and have something happen that changes both of those ways of being the next. And I think even if you don't see the painful and difficult discourse around fat phobia and how bodies should look as applying to you now, it's worth getting invested in, because unfortunately we're not guaranteed anything, let alone the continued shape of our bodies in the ways that most please us.
Emma, Kate, I have learned so much here. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Kate.
Well, that was Emma Spector. She's an author and writer for Vogue magazine, and Kate Mann. She's an author and philosophy professor at Cornell University. So lately, I've been ending the show by asking all of you to rate and review this show. And oh my gosh, have you shown up? The ratings are going up and more people are following the show. One of you wrote that this is, quote, such a magical podcast. Another one of you said that this show made you start listening to podcasts for the first time. Let's keep the momentum going and keep growing this community. Help out by rating or reviewing the show wherever you're listening. And thank you so much. This episode of It's Been a Minute was produced by
Barton Girdwood.
This episode was edited by
Jasmine Romero.
Our supervising producer is
Barton Girdwood.
Our executive producer is
Verilyn Williams.
Our VP of programming is
Yolanda Sanguini.
All right, that's all for this episode of It's Been a Minute from NPR. I'm Brittany Luce. Talk soon.
This message comes from Schwab. Everyone has moments when they could have done better. Same goes for where you invest. Level up and invest smarter with Schwab. Get market insights, education, and human help when you need it. This message comes from Donors Choose. Donors Choose connects public school teachers with donors to fund classroom needs, including school supplies. Donations put books, art supplies, and student smiles into the classrooms that need them most. Make a difference today. Donate now at donorschoose.org/local. This message comes from NPR sponsor eBay, who is home to millions of parts for your next project and free returns. If it doesn't fit or it isn't what you expected, eBay has your back. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay. Things people love.